What if I told you your intelligence is not fixed? Not at 15, not at 30, not even at 50.
And what if some of the greatest geniuses in history were actually considered not that smart at the beginning?
Einstein was seen as slow. Darwin struggled in school. Edison was told he couldn't learn.
And somehow, they still changed the world.
Hey, English League, your friend Gigi here.
And I'm David. Welcome to English Meets Evolution, where you don't just learn English.
You build a better version of yourself.
Today, we're breaking one of the biggest myths about intelligence.
And showing you how geniuses actually train their minds. For a long time, people believed intelligence was genetic, like you're born smart or you're not.
Yeah, like this person is naturally blessed.
But if you look at history, that story doesn't hold up. Take Albert Einstein, for example. Today, we see him as one of the greatest physicists in history, the man behind the theory of relativity. But as a child, he was often seen as slow and struggled in school.
Yeah, and Charles Darwin is another great example. He gave us the theory of evolution, but back then, he was considered just an average student and didn't really fit into traditional learning.
Exactly. And then you have Thomas Edison, who later became one of the most famous inventors in history. But in school, he was told he wasn't capable of learning and was even expelled.
So what changed?
Not their genes, their habits.
All right, Gigi, first habit.
Thinking without input. And Einstein is the perfect example.
Yeah, he used to do those thought experiments, right?
Exactly. He would imagine things like, what happens if I chase a beam of light? No phone, no distractions, just deep thinking.
That's very different from how we live today.
Completely. Today, we consume all the time, but rarely process. Try a simple habit. Go for a walk without your phone. Just think.
I feel attacked already.
That discomfort? That's your brain working.
Next one?
Struggle before help. Benjamin Franklin used this method.
What did he do?
He would read something, close it, and try to rewrite it from memory. Only after struggling, he checked the original.
That sounds painful.
It is, but it forces your brain to think, not just absorb. Before checking the answer, try first, even if it's wrong.
So being wrong is part of the process.
It's the mechanism.
I feel like school punished us for that.
Exactly. Now we avoid mistakes and avoid growth.
What's the third habit?
Writing to think. Leonardo da Vinci is a great example of this. He didn't write just to remember things later. He wrote to examine ideas more closely.
So writing was part of how he thought.
Exactly. He used writing and sketching to test ideas, ask better questions, and make his thinking more precise.
That makes a lot more sense.
A simple way to do this is to stop writing only facts and start writing your thinking. For example, instead of writing, "This is what I learned," write, "How would I explain this in my own words?"
Yeah, because that immediately shows whether you really understand it or not. And what about people who studied many different subjects? Does that make a difference?
It does. That's actually a common pattern among highly intelligent people. Take Aristotle or Da Vinci, for example. They didn't limit themselves to just one area. They explored different fields, and that gave them a more flexible way of thinking.
So they weren't just learning more information, they were learning different ways to see the world.
Exactly. And that's what made their minds so powerful. When you study ideas from different areas, you start seeing connections other people miss.
So intelligence is not only about knowledge, it's also about being able to connect ideas.
Yes, not just knowing more, but linking ideas together.
Last one?
Protecting your mental energy is essential. Darwin, for example, only spent about 4 to 5 hours a day in deep, focused thinking. He wasn't trying to stay busy all day. He was protecting his ability to think clearly and work with real depth.
That's surprising.
Yes, because your brain doesn't grow under constant stress. It grows with focus and recovery.
All right, English League, quick vocabulary break.
Yeah, let's do it. Thought experiment means imagining a situation to understand it. Struggle means effort that helps you learn something difficult. Recall means bringing information back from memory. Habit means something you do regularly. And focused means giving full attention to one thing.
Use one of these today. It makes the learning real.
So here's the truth. Geniuses are not born ready.
They train their minds differently.
They think deeply. They struggle. They question.
And they don't rely only on information. They build understanding. If this episode made you rethink intelligence, send it to someone who still believes, I'm just not smart.
And remember, English League, you're not stuck. You're training.
See you in the next episode.
Keep going. We believe in you.